right, the last topic that we are going to cover in this series is talent acquisition, aka recruitment, aka headhunting. So, we're going to talk about what they do, what career opportunities are available in that specific niche of roles, so that you can see if this path is right for you. This is my background specifically. I've been working in the space for about 4 years, and so I'm speaking purely from my own experience here. Recruitment is really a hybrid of sales and customer success. It is a wild industry that honestly isn't talked about enough because there's the ability to both help a lot of people and make a lot of money in these types of roles. And so basically, your job as a recruiter is to help companies grow their teams. I've worked with tech companies predominantly hiring for sales, marketing, customer success, user experience. There's other people who hire for engineers, data analysts, finance roles, IT, literally any job that you can think of. There's probably a recruiter working on the back end of that trying to hire for that role. Before I get into the specifics of the role, I want to mention that there's actually 2 different ways that you can work as a recruiter. The first one being in an agency and the second one being internal. And so in this example, if you're an internal recruiter, you would work for Facebook. Whereas if you work for an agency, you would be a partner to Facebook, but you would technically work for like a third-party agency. The main difference between the 2 of them is internal recruitment is run more like HR, whereas agency recruitment is run more like a sales team. And what I mean by that is the compensation structure for an agency role, you're generally going to have a base salary plus commission plus some kind of bonus. And so your base salary might be $40,000, but then in your first year you can make another $40,000 in commission. Whereas in a internal role where you're just working for the company, you're not going to be getting that commission portion. And so your salary might be a little bit higher, 50, 60, but you're not going to have the ability to, like, if you are good at your job, you're not going to be paid in accordance to that. You're just good at your job. That was the main reason that I got into recruiting and into an agency specifically. I loved working with people. I loved being able to help people every single day. But having just a salary was not something that was appealing to me. I wanted my performance and the money that I was making to reflect the work and the success that I was having. The nice thing too is if you start in one, it's really easy to transition into the other. And so I know a lot of people who worked in an agency for a couple of years and they wanted more of a like one company team oriented environment. And so they switched into internal, and there's definitely people who go from internal into agency because they want that like infinite income potential. What does a recruiter do? From the beginning, you are going to work with the hiring manager to understand what they need and what they're looking for. You're going to put together job descriptions, you're going to post them, you're going to vet direct applicants, so anybody who's sending resumes, you're going to look through those. You're going to also, this is probably the biggest part of recruitment, is you're going to be headhunting candidates on LinkedIn. And so you're going to be searching through LinkedIn's database, you're going to be reaching out proactively to people who could be a good fit and having those initial conversations, screening calls, to get to know them, understand their experience, gauge whether or not they kind of meet the requirements that you're looking to fill, and mutually see if this is something that makes sense for both of you to move forward with. The next part of the process would be actually presenting the candidates to the clients or to the hiring managers if it's internal, and explaining like why that person's a good fit for the role, why you're passing them on, as well as managing booking interviews, any kind of coordination. Another reason why I really liked working for an agency is because a big part of my job was handling negotiations. So once an offer goes out, it's not just, okay, see ya, it's I get to be a part of those conversations, I get to talk money, I get to talk benefits, I get to make sure that there is a mutually beneficial meeting point where the candidate feels good and is excited to come work for the company, and it's the right fit for what the company is looking for at the end of the day. The other thing I really liked about working for an agency is I got to be an expert to my clients on the job market. I got to set expectations with them. I got to really consult them on what they should be looking for, what's realistic, how we can tweak how we can tweak the job to make this a fillable role for them. If you're somebody who's more junior getting into the recruitment, your job will likely focus mostly on sourcing and screening candidates, and so building those initial candidates relationships. With more experience, you get to take on more of that client relationship side, and usually where the role transitions after a couple years is you mostly focus on the relationship management and being able to bring new opportunities for your greater team to work on as well. Recruitment is a super in-demand job right now, especially with like the Great Resignation and everybody needing to hire in tech. In my first year, I think I made like $60,000, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was even up from that because that was a couple of years ago. And then in the years to come, it's very, very common for people with say 2-3 years of experience in recruitment to make at least $100,000. And I have people that I used to work with who made at least $200K in 2022 alone. If you're looking for job titles, entry level would be something along the lines of candidate sourcer, talent acquisition specialist, might even be human resources coordinator, recruiting coordinator, junior recruiter. As always, titles are usually very creative at certain companies. Whereas once you get into more of that, like 1 or 2 years of experience kind of role, you might be looking at account manager, account executive, talent manager, talent acquisition manager, recruiter, recruitment manager. As always, like read the job description to get a better pulse on what the expectations of the role are. Don't get too caught up on the title because they're so variable. The nice thing about recruitment and really all of these roles is that once you're in, you're in. And so if you want to transition into HR, you can. If you want to transition into customer success, you can. If you want to transition into sales, you can. I have tons of previous coworkers who are now account executives in tech making $150, $250K a year, who have transitioned into internal recruitment and love it, who work in HR, who work in customer success. There's truly no one career path for you to take. If you love recruitment, you can stay in it forever, or infinite pivot opportunities. Now that you have a baseline understanding of what all of these different positions look like and opportunities could be for you in tech, I would love to connect with you. I'm going to put a link below for you to book a quick 20-30 minute call with me. We can run through your experience, and yeah, if there's a way that I can help you make that transition into tech, I would absolutely love to do it.